fuck's sake.
What's up, bitches? It's Monday morning. Time for Mat Therapy with Bex and Violence and myself, Donna Gonzalez. We have support from Just Float. Check them out at justfloat.com. And if you want to go and get your float on, you can get 50% off your first float and use the code MT50. What'd you do this weekend, Becky?
Worked and watched some fights.
I was there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What did we say we want to talk? Oh, what's your walkout song? Because there were some not so good walkout songs this weekend, and some really not cheesy. What's the like the most stereotypical walkout song ever? Walking out to like Rocky Balboa. That's not bad. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying like, oh yeah, super obvious.
Yeah, that's you don't even try.
Right.
Like that's
you're like, yeah, just Rocky.
Just put the Rocky song.
I Have Tiger. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's still that was the song that they used to play in wrestling practice in high school for me.
Get you all pumped up.
So yeah, even I did one jiu-jitsu tournament and I downloaded it for the drive over just
now. Did
out
you
of
use
habit.
Eye of the Tiger? Or did you use the Rocky theme song?
No, I did like the Welcome to the Jungle, like it's Eye of the Tiger. It's like the regular one.
Oh, okay. It's the Eye of the Tiger. That one?
No, I don't. Maybe I just do Welcome. Are those two different songs?
There's the Rocky Walkout song.
Okay. Wait. What's the Rocky Walkout song?
How does it go? It's
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun.
Well,
there's
that
that.
one.
But what's
like
Welcome to the Jungle? Is that
Welcome to the Jungle is not related to fighting at all. That's Guns N' Roses.
Wow, I'm mixing two songs together.
You
so
are.
Welcome to the Jungle
sing it.
and Eye of the Tiger are two different songs. Wow.
Very much so.
You didn't know that?
I think I did in my head, but not.
You're so about to get tweeted from people.
Well, Becky hasn't seen Star Wars.
Oh!
So I'll throw her right under. We have to.
Wow.
Threw you under the.
We just have to talk about it.
Way to throw someone right under the bus.
You just gotta. That's the best way to do it. When it's gonna come to me, just gotta throw it right at you. And
damn.
Now we just gotta talk about it.
I see how it is. All right.
Absolutely. Now we just gotta talk about it, Becky.
All right.
He's throwing hard. He's throwing hard early in the.
There's no secrets on the podcast. There's no secrets.
There's no secrets in podcasting.
Awesome.
I haven't seen Goonies, so it's okay.
I hate you both. I don't know if I can be either of your friends anymore. Okay, first let's start with you. Why haven't you seen Goonies?
I don't know. I have no idea why. It never came up. I was born in '88.
Okay.
So I have no idea what time when Goonies came out.
A lot earlier than 1988. Maybe
So,
85-ish.
Okay, so maybe by that time, because it wasn't for my parents.
Okay, and you have no older siblings?
No, I'm the oldest.
There you go. That's why. Okay, go back and watch it.
Becky hates me right now. I'm very sorry, Becky. I hate to deflect all of the hate for mixing up two songs.
I mean, Becky? I've also never seen the Goonies either. My best friend hates me for that.
You haven't seen a lot, which is completely.
But that's fine because you're spending too much time jiu-jitsuing.
That's exactly it. See?
Oh, really?
Since
all through the 90s and the 80s, you were too busy doing jiu-jitsu, and that's why you haven't seen Star Wars and the Goonies and Back to the Future.
She has shit to do.
I was a busy kid.
But how do you actually?
I was a busy kid because I grew up roller skating, and so I'd go to school and then I'd go to practice and I'd be doing homework. So
okay, so that's why you didn't watch. Like those are
that's
going to
be my new argument. But yes, I was busy. I was doing all of that stuff.
I was not a busy kid.
I'm not going to say that I didn't have time to like sit down and watch movies, but I'm going to just use that as an excuse from now on.
It's such pop culture. Like, how did you get away? How did you get out of the 80s without seeing Back to the Future and Star Wars?
No, Back to the Future I did.
Okay, you saw
plenty.
That. But Goonies,
I was about to walk out if you hadn't. That's my favorite.
No, that I've seen plenty.
Okay, but you, as an adult, I can see you're like, Lord of the Rings, not my thing. But how did you get out of the 80s without seeing what all the kids were watching?
Well, first of all, I grew up an only child, so it wasn't any kids in my house.
Did you not play with other children?
Yeah, I don't really remember sitting. I mean,
like you never had slumber parties and watch. Well, I guess you'd watch like girl movies if you were having slumber parties, right?
With my cousins and stuff, would be the only like kids that I remember growing up like actually watching movies with.
Okay.
And playing video games and stuff with the kids. Like people that I was friends with was more, back in the day when kids used to actually play outside. I did that.
All right. Well, you both suck. Please direct all of your hate to Bex and Violence. and
hate.
Lee Syatt
Don't
at
hate
twitter.com.
Don't do it. Can I blame my parent? Can I blame my parents? Is that okay?
You are an
They
adult
are
now.
not from this country.
You have no excuse that
They
you have
are-
not seen it up till this point.
They are not from this country.
Are you sure you want to use one of your parent blames on like Star Wars? Like you're gonna have to like that's a big one. Like parent blames, you can only use so many times.
That's true. You might want to save that.
It's a big movie. Everybody's giving me enough shit. I feel like no.
No one's really giving you shit.
Stop banging the table.
I'm not.
We're not in
I'm
court.
upset right now. I'm upset right now.
right.
I'm being picked on.
All right. Oh, you just wait till you check your Twitter feed, lady.
But then you guys go to jiu-jitsu
Right.
and choke people out, and you're like, okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But a little bit of Twitter
Yeah.
poking fun.
A little Twitter hate.
That's all. That's where you draw the line, Becky.
Some hate tweets.
That's all right. That's why it's mat therapy. It'll make you feel better about anything.
Anything, huh?
Yeah.
That's true.
I had a rough week. Jiu-jitsu made me happy. Or at least got me through it. Seriously.
I was actually having that conversation yesterday about that's the only place that
Yeah.
nothing matters.
Because you have to be completely present in the moment.
Totally.
You can't be like,
I mean, I have to be worried about getting choked.
Yeah.
But that's it
Yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah, you can't be like, I wonder what's going on with blah, blah, blah. Because you're like, oh, that's my arm that's broken.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's 100% accurate. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't done it in a long time because
Because the weekend?
the weekend. I can't. I
Yeah.
don't have time.
Every single week, I'm always like, all right, Saturday, doing jiu-jitsu. Going to class, doing jiu-jitsu. And then Saturday, I'll look, and it's like 5 minutes before class starts, and I'm like, damn it.
God damn it.
I forgot again. Yeah. But I'm going to be teaching on Saturdays pretty soon, so then I won't have that excuse.
There's that.
Yeah.
I actually look forward. I know Monday's the day to hate and to be like, oh, it's Monday again. You see, Sunday
I
night.
don't hate Monday.
But now I don't hate Mondays.
For sure.
I've
But
got-
I also don't have a regular job, so like Monday doesn't mean the same thing to me.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's what it is. Like, I've got this on Mondays, and then I've got I finally get to get back on the mat. So it's like
I'm with you. I'm happy when Monday comes. I get to get back on the mats. Things that I do start back up that I do during I like everything that I do.
Yeah.
All of my sources of income are awesome. And I'm a happy camper, so I'm happy when the week starts and I get to continue doing what I do.
Yep.
Is there a difference between like Monday class versus Friday? Are
Yeah.
you going crazy later in the week? Are you like, is it going to be like slower tonight? Just getting
No.
back into the
No.
Mondays are
Monday's
the busiest
packed.
night.
It's Thursday.
By
that'll
Thursday,
be-
everybody's all wrecked.
Yeah.
Like, we've all beat each other
okay.
up by the time. And if you're crawling into class on Thursday night.
Everybody's super sore, so they're like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. You get wrecked by Thursday. There's a huge number in the difference of people that show up. And everybody's like, I did this week. I got my shoulder tweaked, my neck tweaked.
I tweaked my neck yesterday, not doing jiu-jitsu.
What were you doing?
Pull-ups. Like an idiot.
Did you get one?
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to do them from like full, like just hanging. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give myself any sort of like momentum going
Right.
up the first time. And yeah, that hurt.
I love how you just threw it away. You're like, yeah, I did a real pull up, but not the way I want to do a real pull up. Like that's like just the fact that you can
No,
do a pull up. Like you should. Like I would walk around with a shirt that said I can do a pull up.
I can do
I
a
can
pull
do
up.
a pull-up. No, very
Yeah.
specific. A pull-up.
I would change the shirt every time I could add another one.
It would have like a little removable number. It
would have
I
to.
can do
New hashtags.
one pull-up. Today I'm up to 2 pull-ups.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's crazy. Like that's crazy that you guys are that strong to do pull ups and all that. Like it's the thing that for me about all the fights that I saw the Nunez fight and I saw the
Right.
home fight. I don't know if there was another female fight on there.
Nope, just two.
I really liked the Nunez fight.
I feel like there was
Just-
an earlier one, maybe.
There might have been
I
an
must have
early
missed
one.
it.
But I liked the Nunez fight, and it wasn't super exciting. Like, it wasn't the most exciting fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like it was the most complete female fight that I've seen in a while.
Ooh,
like, it was
explain
just,
that.
Like, it was just... Sometimes you see... And I spoke to George from MMA Junkie last night on a different podcast.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying that whoever Nunez fought is a great Muay Thai fighter.
Shevchenko?
Right.
Shvenk.
A lot of continents.
I can't.
I'm the worst with names.
All the continents. But what he was saying is that she's really good at Muay Thai, so he was hoping that
Yeah.
she would kick more. But not knowing that as a fan, it felt like there was a lot of back and forth, and it wasn't it was like at a higher level than some of the earlier women fights have been. So I was really entertained watching it. And then obviously the home fight was just crazy.
I wouldn't argue. I would say that ladies matches in general are reaching the level that we wanted to see them at for a long time. I think I think they finally have reached their full momentum, and we are seeing complete fighter. I think these ladies are coming into the cage at the exact same level that we as the guys were years ago, where their weight classes were and where their training camps and everything were, and they're coming in fully rounded. What you just said about the Nunez fight, I would say that about the Tate and Holmes fight. Fight.
I said that before the Tate and Holmes fight. So obviously the Tate and Holmes fight was way better.
Oh, that was so good. So good. We got to see Holly striking. We got to see Misha do a couple takedowns. We got to see some awesome jiu-jitsu.
It was a whole package.
Yeah.
As far as,
It was awesome.
I thought it was a really good night of fights just in general.
I thought they were okay up until the two main events, and those totally made the night for me.
Yeah, the two main events really were great, but you didn't I didn't watch the full undercard, but I watched a good portion of it, and it wasn't. There's some fights that you watch and you're bummed for buying the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This wasn't that for me at all. At least personally. Who knows? Maybe I'm less critical, because obviously if you're really into it, some people are gonna get more intense with it. But as a slightly more than casual fan, I was entertained the whole night.
I thought, there were some good fights.
I don't think it was a letdown as far as
No.
being a pay-per-view. I think.
Yeah. I like to see a lot more finishes. I mean, obviously nobody wants to see it go to the cards, so I think that we had a couple fights where they went to the cards, and that's maybe not as exciting. And then when you put on a show like the two main events that were from start to finish packed with action, and there were moments that everybody thought they knew who was going to win, and then the people, the two people that you thought were going to win did not win, and it was a complete upset, made the whole night so exciting. I mean, how many conversations were had around the country and the world about the Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz fight? Like, everybody was like, Nate's going to come in, it's going to be a good boxing match, but Conor's totally going to win. And even you were like, oh, we're not going to see either of them go for takedowns, and that's exactly what we saw. So
I was shocked the way it did go. I mean, we knew on both of those main fights that, whose game was standing and whose game was on the ground, and if it would remain standing, one would have the upper hand. If it went to the ground, the other wouldn't have the upper ground. The upper hand, and it was exactly the same in both matches. But I don't think anybody.
I don't think anybody saw it.
Did anybody expect for Conor McGregor to go for a takedown?
No, I don't think anybody expected that.
We knew Nate's good on the ground. Nate's awesome on the ground. He's amazing on the ground. But takedown's not really something he's known for going for.
But I mean,
nobody expected Conor to try and shoot in and take him down. So
stop banging the table. The only thing that annoyed me, I thought the fights were amazing, and if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I wrote this. I think the only thing that annoyed me is all of the casual fans afterwards doing this whole ha ha ha, Conor tapped and Holly didn't. She went to sleep. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. Here's my problem with that. You're supposed to tap. These people are at the highest level of their sport that they can possibly be. So when you get caught in a super deep choke, you've humbled him. You win. He has acknowledged that you won, and he tapped.
It doesn't make anybody a lesser fighter just because they tapped.
Correct.
I think that's what people were trying to get at with this meme is that
right.
He
tapped.
Holly's amazing.
How dare you?
Holly is amazing.
She is.
But Conor's a piece of shit because he tapped.
Correct. I would make the argument that the reason Holly went out is because she was fighting. For some reason, she threw Misha over her head, and most people know that
she thought she might fall.
She might.
In some cases,
she might fall, but most people know that that's going to sink the choke in deeper, and that's exactly what happened. So when Holly and Misha hit the ground, she was already halfway out, and
plus all the blood moving around at that point,
adrenaline, like all of that factored into the point that Holly didn't tap. Maybe I'm wrong, and everybody can call me out on it if I am. If Holly's like, I totally went out on purpose because I'm a soldier. My bad.
Well,
I don't think she.
Game.
Yeah, I personally think that she probably would have tapped, but she was already halfway out when they hit the ground, and I don't. And there's nothing wrong with that situation. What I'm saying is it doesn't make Conor a lesser fighter or make him
a piece of shit.
Everybody's like, oh, he's such a pussy. He tapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. How dare he do exactly what you're supposed to do when you get caught in a deep submission. And to be clear, I'm not a Conor McGregor fan. I'm an MMA fan. And you're supposed to tap when you get choked. Nate still won. He still humbled him. He still, dominated and got the W. What is everybody's problem with the fact that Conor tapped? You're supposed to. That's why it's called a tap out. Anyway, people just annoying me.
People need something to bitch about.
Jump on my thread. Yell at me if you... I don't care.
People just need to complain about something. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. They just gotta
hate. It's a faux outrage. I have a thing called faux outrage.
It totally is faux outrage.
Everybody wants to be just outraged about something. There are plenty of things in the world for people to be upset about. Like, we could all sit here and list 10 things that are cause for genuine concern and outrage right now. But everybody, like, did you really give a shit about who was Woman of the Year before Caitlyn Jenner got named Woman of the Year?
Can you name last year's Woman of the Year?
Tell me who was Woman of the Year last year? Like, does a person wanting to be called a different gender affect your life that much that it actually causes outrage, regardless of how you feel about it? Does it really cause outrage in your life?
Did these people even watch the ESPN awards or whatever? No, they just heard who the winners were. I didn't watch it.
Or just everything. Oh, that water bottle has, that's bad for the environment. Yes, it probably is, and let's have a conversation about it. But like, to yell at somebody,
but calm down about it.
Let's have a conversation. Teach me about how to do better things. Maybe that's a bad example of faux outrage, but there's plenty of faux outrage out there. People just go to your fucking Facebook feed, and 9 times out of 10, whatever you're reading is faux outrage.
It is, but it's hard for me. Like, I catch myself sometimes. Every once in a while, I want to tweet something that's not making fun of a fighter, but like criticizing a little bit.
Sure.
Well,
But then I realize, like, I'll sit down and I start to tweet it out. I'm like, wait, they just did all this, and there's no way I would ever be able to do a second of it.
Right.
So I'll just stop. And part of it's because I know I'll get some hate for it on Twitter. So I'm like, I don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
But then even just thinking about it, it's like, yeah, even though, like, you want to criticize it, like, as a fan, it's like your first reaction is just to criticize. But then when you're actually thinking about...
It's Monday morning corner manning.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. None of us have crawled in the cage.
Yeah.
And put our whole bodies on the line.
There's a very small percentage of people watching these fights that have actually done that.
Absolutely. And everybody wants to, I would. Oh, no, you wouldn't have nothing.
Yeah. No, you have no idea what you would have done.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I would have done. I can only, I only imagine the adrenaline that I get when I'm in class or when I'm...
Exactly. And that's a completely safe situation.
Even when I'm put on the spot in class, when Eddie's like, you need to roll with, whoever. To me, that's being put on the spot with him. And there's a little bit of an adrenaline change at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to pretend to compare.
Of course.
What that adrenaline is versus being in a cage and having millions of people watching me.
And you know what? Kind of a segue here. That's my argument for women doing jiu-jitsu for self-defense as opposed to maybe some kind of striking.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a more realistic form of self-defense. None of us really know how we're going to act in a fight or flight situation until we've been in that situation. But at least in jiu-jitsu, you can spar close to 100% and know how you're going to react when you go into panic mode, because everybody panics at some point, whether it's being mounted or being choked or something. Everybody panics in jiu-jitsu at some point. So you get a really good idea of where your go-to mode is, and then you have the opportunity to address it and like work on it. So and there's the whole nobody that attacks you is ever gonna like square off with you and give you a chance to be like, let me get, let's do this. No, they're gonna attack you. You're gonna be rolling on the ground, and if you don't know what to do on the ground and you don't know how you're going to react with somebody's elbow in your throat, you're in trouble. But I feel like ladies who do jiu-jitsu, not only for our skill, but we have the upper hand because I think we'd have, and I hope somebody who has maybe had to use it in a self-defense situation, I'd love to hear about that, because I think that we would have the upper hand in that the person that is attacking you doesn't know that you can keep your cool, that you're thinking, and that you have means of escape and inflicting damage. That's my soapbox. I'm going to get off now.
Well, I would have to imagine that even people attacking you are going to be pretty, I don't know what the word is, frantic. Like, because they're like,
you're not, it's not like
they're going to have the adrenaline rush
sure.
too. And the,
if they're, trying to attack
mode.
You or rape you or steal something, it's not a match.
Well, what do you think the fights this weekend did for jiu-jitsu, because the two main fights ended in submit? Like, do you when you're gonna go and roll tonight, do you expect there to be 20 new people, 10 new people? Like, will there be an explosion, do you think?
I do think it's funny, the meme of like everybody's
Everybody's
running
gonna
out,
go to class.
everybody's running to find.
I think that anytime
jiu-jitsu
there's
classes.
cool submissions in the UFC, that's the biggest platform for martial arts that we have. Anytime that you see something cool, I also think that anytime. Yes, the answer to that question is yes. I think people are going to be like, I'm going to go learn how to do that. Just like when somebody does a fancy, roundhouse kick and knocks somebody out, Muay Thai classes are probably getting
a few more phone calls that day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all joke about that. Like anytime somebody does a fancy submission, that's what you're going to be working on in class. Well, a good jiu-jitsu school, most of them are already working on their rear naked choke defense and escape.
Should kind of be basic.
Yeah. But for sure, there are people that are going to see that have maybe been casual fans, and they're like, that was so badass.
Or people that have been thinking about it. They've been on the fence. They're like,
I've had 3
I
phone
wanna try
calls
it.
in the last month of people that want to join. And I'm like, yeah.
See?
Let's do this.
Maybe if they saw last night, they're like, now I'm totally in.
Totally.
So
Yeah, it's only a good advertisement for the sport, of course.
yeah.
It's a badass sport. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of it?
Does any of that bum you out? Like, you're gonna be like, there's gonna be all these new people at the gym. Or
I'm not an indie rock fan in the sense of jiu-jitsu. You know how some people are like, I don't like this band anymore
As
now
soon as
that
it
it's
becomes
popular.
yeah.
I think I'm all for MMA and jiu-jitsu for all. It's a badass sport. I want more people to like it and care about it and be a part of it, and it only is better for all of us. And the more ladies that join jiu-jitsu, awesome. The more women we'll have to compete with, the more women we'll have to be friends with in our community, the more women that will be empowered by this amazing sport. Yes.
How often do you guys find yourself recruiting like other women or anybody to jiu-jitsu? Like, if you were at a party watching these UFC fights, are you going to people being like, I can teach you how to do that?
Well, no.
It depends on who's around. I mean, we watched the fights on Saturday. Everybody that was there are people that we train with, so there was no one to recruit.
Yeah, there was nobody to recruit, but it's
the last time. I don't really go out much these days, but the last time I was at a bar in downtown, it was like a month and a half ago. I was trying to recruit the bartender.
Yeah.
It was a girl working there. It was like a Sunday night. It was super late. She was working by herself, and somehow the conversation came up that that we all did jiu-jitsu, and she's like, can you teach me some moves? And so we started showing her some stuff. It was like 2 a.m.
Nice.
And she's like, I want to take some classes, and so I gave her my phone number, and so
it happens. My before I got married, my roommate used to joke, like, she would do like a countdown anytime we'd walk into a party. She'd be like, 5 minutes, Don's already talking about fighting.
Is that like a thing, like at a jiu-jitsu party, pretty soon someone's gonna be on the floor?
Oh yeah.
Last week during the Anderson Silva Bisping fight, we watched it obviously after it had happened because
it was in another country.
And we were there watching these fights for, I would say it was a good couple hours in before anybody was on the floor, like showing moves and stuff. And I was like,
how did it take that long?
Why did it take so long?
Yeah, no, it's because we're nerds. We geek out about all of this.
On this last Saturday, it happened pretty quick.
It happened quick. I was on the floor.
There were some takedowns or some sweeps being practiced.
I grabbed one of our friend's legs as he was walking past, and I'm like, try and get out. Don't spill your drink.
That's more normal for it to happen within like the first at least half an hour.
Yeah.
So
it's one of the best. Like, when I was doing jiu-jitsu, like, it was fun. Like, Joey and I would just roll around on the floor, and it's
for sure.
It's a new, like, the first couple times you do it, like, what am I doing? I'm like in like regular clothes in an office, and people are like taking their shoes off and telling them to lie on top
right.
of me. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I was showing a heel hook to one of the guys that I work with the other day.
Nice.
He's like, show me how it feels. And like, we were sitting in chairs and I was hooking his leg, and he was like, holy shit, I already feel that. And I was like,
I think
I
that
don't even have a
happens
good grip.
more often than not, especially with ladies, because there's always the one guy that's like, you think you could tap me out? I don't know, probably. Why don't you go ahead and try?
Thank God it wasn't
All
one
right.
of those situations, but yeah.
I mean, I did it. My friend's boyfriend did that to me once, and I put him in a heel hook, and I tapped him, and then later he was like, I let her do that, and she was like, okay.
I remember my friend's son, this was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I think he was like 14 at the time. And he had started taking a wrestling class or something at school. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, what do you think? So we like kind of squared up and stuff. And I like just quick jumped on his back and got on his neck. And he was like, I was like, yeah, well.
Happens. Yeah.
I mean, because it for me, wrestling was very different, because with wrestling, all you're expecting is someone's going to shoot or pull you down or something. And with jiu-jitsu, to have someone just jumping on your back like a spider monkey, it takes it takes some getting used to.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
A little bit.
It's nice to hear that you guys hang out that much. Like, for me, the hardest part about moving cross country was I have like no friends and no base here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how often are you as
hanging
a
out
group hanging out with
all the time?
people?
These are my people.
Yeah.
This is our little tribe. We text each other. We have a text thread going with about 5 of us on there.
There's one with all the girls.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that's like
all the
a couple
guys.
other people.
It definitely becomes your community depending on how much you train. But these are people you like to be around. Why not? You guys all have the same hobby and you have the same conversations. You can make the same jokes to each other. And it's good people.
And we see each other, 4 or 5
more
times
than anybody.
a week.
Yeah.
So it's it's almost like working with someone.
But just in an awesome situation.
Except it's the work that you choose to go into versus this is what I have to do because I need to pay bills.
Yeah, we've long referred to ourselves as a family at 10th Planet. Yeah. Definitely.
Yep.
What happens when there's someone who you don't like? Like, there has to be someone at the school who you're just like, I hate seeing that person. I don't like seeing their car in the parking lot.
Becky.
No.
Do you want to answer this question?
No.
All right.
I mean, I don't. No.
There's enough of us that if you don't care for somebody, you don't have to interact with them. Yeah. I mean, if you could always be like, you want to roll? If they say yes, then you choke them out and then you feel better.
Except they probably wouldn't ask me to roll. So.
Exactly. There you go. No, there's 100% of people are not going to get along most of the time. And just like in any other situation or any other social situation, you just don't interact with the person that you don't care for.
I mean, it happens in any sort of workplace where people are in close contact with each other. People eventually, there's going to be some sort of friction and someone's not going to get along with another person. That's just that's the nature of people in groups. So
yeah, but most groups aren't choking each other out.
That's true. But you don't, I mean, honestly, you just don't, if you don't care for somebody, you just don't roll with them.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anybody getting kicked out of a school?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens?
There's always drama.
Crazy people.
Usually the owner or the master or whoever is like, you got to go. And what they say goes, so there's no argument.
There was
why would they, like, what has happened, like what's happened in the past?
There's been so many different reasons. There's
this, I don't know what exactly the situation, but he walked into the girls' locker room a couple times.
There was a guy that got kicked out, but it was also, we had to tell him over and over again, do not walk into the girls' locker room, and he would do it when a specific girl was in there, and it was a situation. So that's,
and this was at a point where there was like 2 very different doors.
Yeah,
like,
there was no
mistaking it. Like, the women's is way over there, the men's is way over there. You know where you're going. You knew what you were doing.
There's been a situation where 2 people have like come to a place where it's very volatile. Did I say that word right? Volatile? Mm-hmm. Volatile? And
I think either way works.
I believe the person who left was maybe the person that wasn't as high ranked or hadn't been there as long, and so a call was made like, one of you has to go and we're keeping him. People have been kicked out for over the years. There's been issues with lying about rank.
All right, what do you guys think? Because there's videos of that online that I've seen. So when you guys see that, like,
it is the highest sin that you can commit in jiu-jitsu.
It's the most disrespectful thing you can do. One of the most disrespectful
absolutely.
things.
When I don't even understand where they think it's gonna go,
right?
Because,
or who they think they're going to fool.
Because like it's not like you can go in and like, oh, I can just lift weights or I can figure out a
For
kick.
sure.
Like jiu-jitsu's like
The proof is in the pudding. Yeah. Absolutely.
How like can you tell within like 30 seconds of rolling with somebody?
Well, it's so okay. Over the years, I know I've known of maybe at our school specifically, I think 3 situations, and I wasn't there for most of them. But I will tell you situations that I am aware of. When you roll with somebody, for example, if you came to me and you were like, I'm a brown belt, and you couldn't, I don't know, you can tell when you roll with somebody if they are at least at a certain level. And I would imagine if somebody's going around telling people they're a black belt and they roll with another black belt, you would be able to tell that situation pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Or there was a video going around at Naga. Somebody put it up and they were like, this black belt got tapped out by an orange belt, which is the middle belt that kids get right before they can go up to blue. Like a 17-year-old could be an orange belt. And they were like, this orange belt got tapped out by this black belt. And 100% of the people who watched the thread were like, that guy's not a black belt. He's not. There's no way he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He might be a black belt in some other sport. And he walked on the mat and they gave, and they were like, oh, you're a black belt? You can tell by the way people move. I'm not saying you could tell the difference between a brown belt and a black belt, but you can definitely tell the difference if somebody walks in and they don't have a black belt skill level.
As a student, I could tell, just not like within their style, but from a student's perspective, I had a better experience the higher the belt the teacher was.
Absolutely.
Like between like a blue, I've had instructors who are blue, purple, and brown, and then black, and the difference between purple and brown is
for
huge.
Sure. Well, you're still evolving your game at that point. So I think that blues and purples are really good for helping you get your base, get your fundamentals down. But if you're looking to finesse, you're probably going to definitely want a brown and black belt to be training you.
Do you guys ever choose, like, all right, I want to work on arm bars, I'm going to go to this school today? Or are there specific schools for different things you want to train with, or different people that you want to train with for different techniques? Or do you just go, is it all 10th Planet and just whatever they're teaching that day I'll go with?
I mean, definitely different people. If I want to work on my guard passing, I might go to one person who is awesome at that. Or if they won't, I can never get past their guard and I want to fucking figure this shit out already. Like, I'm going to work with that person. Or if I want to work on my, rubber guard game, I might go to a specific person.
Yeah. I generally stay with people within our system unless there's a seminar that I want to go to and learn from somebody specifically. But that's just me. There are plenty of people that are like, I want to, train with this person for this reason and this person for this reason. There are jiu-jitsu people that love to travel. I'm all about, like,
I love the idea of all of that.
For sure.
Even just within LA and, Southern California, I love the idea, but it's not always feasible to be able to run around all different schools. So,
and we do have plenty of people at our school that are good at different techniques, that there's always somebody to ask a question. We're really lucky in how many black belts that we get to train with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever shy away from training with a black belt?
No. If a black belt calls you and gives you the opportunity to roll with them,
do it.
Just know you're going to get your ass kicked. Of course, it's an honor, and learn from them.
Absolutely. Yes.
Would you have said, if you were like a white belt, because now you guys are a little bit higher up, would you still have said yes? Just because,
yes,
if I see a black belt, it's just like,
I never turn down anybody who's a higher belt than me who wants to roll with me, unless I know they're a person that that like hurts, like a not spaz, but there are some people that you're like, dude, you have no chill, and I'm not really looking to get my arm broken right now.
Right.
I love you, but thanks. But I would say 99% of the time, if a higher belt is like, come roll with me, I'm going. And if it's a lady, I will never turn down the opportunity. I don't care how much bigger than me she is. I don't care how, like, what her rank is. If there's a new lady for me to roll with, because it's percentage wise, we don't have as many ladies to roll with, I'm rolling.
Yeah.
it's awesome to have another training partner that's a lady.
Well, because you're a higher belt now. You're a purple belt,
I'm a purple belt, yeah.
Do you ever see some white belts a little scared to roll with you?
I hope not. I'm not a bully. I hope not.
Well, not even because you're a bully, just because it's intimidating.
I don't know.
No. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge that, too, because how many new people just come flying by?
I'm like the
have
mama bear.
We have a group of girls, and, like, we're all friendly with each other. Yeah. So
maybe I'm sure there's you know what, maybe yes, because when you're a white belt and you're gonna go roll with even a blue belt, you're probably gonna get your ass kicked. It comes with the territory. I don't think it's a scary thing though. I think if you're in and committed to the process of learning to do jiu-jitsu, you've already accepted your path of ass kicking. I don't know if Eddie's had this conversation with other ladies, but when I started, and I was one of the only ladies training at HQ at that time, he was like, for the next year, every single time you step on the mat, you're going to get your ass kicked. Just accept that, go with it, learn from it, and then at some point,
eventually it'll start changing.
Sink in.
Yep.
And he was pretty much right. For about the next year, I got my ass whooped every single time I stepped on the mat. And then I started tapping guys out, and I was like, this is awesome.
And you still enjoyed it, getting your ass kicked for an entire... Wow.
Yeah.
Must mean you really like it.
It's addicting, for sure.
I mean, you have to be in the right... You have to understand and know that that's part of the process.
Yeah, there are stages.
If you're not okay with that process, then it's probably not the sport for you.
Yeah, you consider
or
it a
you're
win
just going to be
when
really
you defend
frustrated
something
for a long time.
Yeah, if you're not considering it a win when you defend something, and there was a point that if I could just get out of a roll with somebody and not have them tap me out, I'd be like, I won.
Totally.
You know what I mean? you look at the process. Like, I just defended, however many things this person attacked me with. And then when you're like, and then even if I didn't get a tap, but I was able to get a sweep, or I was able to put them in a position, an attempt and submission, or I was able to see what was coming and counter it. Those are all wins. Those are all part of your your growth in the sport. And if you can't celebrate those small moments, then yeah, maybe you are in the wrong sport.
Do you guys ever game plan, like, what you're gonna roll with? Because, like, in football, you hear sometimes, like, and the NFL teams will script their first 10 or so plays. Like, if you're gonna roll with somebody, do you ever think about, okay, I want to try this today, or I'm gonna go this to this and see what they do? And because if you're rolling every day, at a certain point, you must have to start testing things out.
Yeah, if we've all gone through points, I think, where we finally pick up a submission that starts coming a little more natural to us. But then you kind of realize at one point, like, I got to try something else.
We had a ladies' agreement once.
We did have an agreement.
I would not guillotine her anymore or Japanese necktie her.
She would not go for the guillotines, and I would not go for the heel hooks, because for some reason, neither of us, we would just keep landing them on each other.
Right,
and
so we were like, let's not do it anymore.
Let's change
it up.
Because
I knew I could get it on her, and she knew she was going to grab my ankles. So
clearly, we obviously need to work on our defense side of those things.
Right.
But at least, there came a moment where it was just a little bit too much. So we were like, let's put
not
those aside.
Yeah, let's take the thing that you can get the easiest. Because when you do roll with somebody all the time, you know their game.
Yeah.
And, that's the one maybe downside to training with the same people every single day, is you learn everybody's game. So your defense comes.
You know how they're going to move,
really
and
good,
you're going to be able to sink something.
And we all have very
way,
similar. At least we have the same knowledge. So, I know you're going for a truck on me. I'm going to reverse it at the same point that you're trucking me, and then we're just going to sit there and trying to reverse it on each other. Hormones. What's up with your hormones?
What's up with my hormones?
I've been having issues lately.
Nice email title, by the way.
Well, I have to...
Go ahead, Lee.
I don't know. You guys just came in. You're like, my hormones are fucked up today. I'm like, okay. Well, I have no idea what that means. Because guys always hear that.
Right.
And the only thing I think about when I think about hormones is period. So I don't know if that's involved at all. Or
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So at least I wasn't way off. So like how does that affect you? And I guess with jiu-jitsu, but even like you both came in like, my hormones are fucked up today. So what does that mean?
I have a whole mess of hormonal
her
issues.
her hormones are a different issue than mine. She's she's got ongoing.
For the last when I hit, I'm going to be 39 in a week.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday, but
thank you. And when I hit probably 33, 34, my body was like, fuck you. And like shit just started going wrong. Like I gained a whole bunch of weight. I've always had insomnia, so that's obviously tied to like hormonal issues. And when I hit 33, 34, my body was just like, have some weight. I don't care how much you're working out. I don't care what your diet is. Don't sleep. Just all types of stuff. So then I had some adrenal issues.
Crave some shitty food.
Yeah, crave some shitty food. And then I have signs of I still, not to get all graphic on people, sorry, but I still have my period, but I have signs of early menopause, which is a motherfucker. I'm like, what? No, I still train with 20-year-olds. Why am I, I get hot flashes at night. What is that?
You just get really hot?
Yeah, dude, it's a hot, when they say it's a hot flash, like all of a sudden, because I'm always cold. I have like thyroid shit, and so I'm always cold.
You're a girl. Girls are just always cold.
No, but mine's even worse. Like, okay, when I do the float tank, it's cold. Like I get cold halfway through and I'm like, could they just turn it up in here? Like it's not how they're like, you can't tell the air and the body temperature and the water. I can. It's too cold. So like I'll be freezing underneath my blankets and all of a sudden I'm like
It's a real thing, Lee.
So
it's a real thing.
I'm learning how to. Things are finally starting after years of trial and fail and talking to
trial and error.
Yes, thank you. Talking to a million different doctors. My brother, who's a doctor, was like, "Look, dude, there's nothing so wrong with you. Like you're still functional, you're still very healthy. You want to be perfect, but doctors are like, no, you're functioning. Get the fuck out of my face." And so I've been to a million doctors, and he was like, "This is what you do. You get on all the forums." And you look up all the ladies with the same symptoms that you do and do what the hell they're doing. And that's what I did, and now things are starting to work.
Because doctors are like, fuck you, we can't make any money off of you.
That's exactly
we don't care.
Yeah.
And this doesn't happen to guys, right? There's no...
I mean, I'm sure you guys have hormonal...
I'm sure they
you got
have their...
testosterone,
we have hormones,
and
but like...
adrenal stuff.
I'm talking about like specifically hot flashes.
Oh, dude. What?
I don't know.
How dare my
I'm
body
sure
do this to me?
I'm sure there's some male equivalents out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the testosterone. That's probably...
Just low testosterone, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That's a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I'm a guy.
Dude,
why
hormones
just
suck.
crazy.
TRTs exist.
Yeah,
and
hormones suck.
steroids.
Over
and all
it.
that fun jazz. That's why that's a thing.
What's your problem, Becky?
Me? No. I'm regular hormone.
Oh, you just have the PMS?
The PMS hormones.
The PMS ones.
What is it like rolling when you're on your period? Or do you not?
I don't roll the first 2 days. It's just my thing. I don't. After that, it's fine.
Too much strain, too much pain, or like why? Like what is it?
Okay, so as all of my friends can attest, I get super bitchy. Like the first Michelle Blanchard, I'm so sorry. I've yelled at her so many times, and she's like, "Are you on your period?"
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, my first day, it's like the world kicks my ass. I can sleep for like 20 hours, and it looks like I just got in a car accident. I'm like, and my body hurts, and I don't want anybody touching me, and I'm just not fun to be around. So I don't, for the world's sake, I don't go out of my house.
She locks herself in her house
for the first day of my period. And
everyone say thank you.
Yeah. And then by day 3, I feel like Wonder Woman. Like I get a surge of the good stuff, whatever it is, and I'm like,
I love that's the best feeling. See, I get all the symptoms and everything leading up to it, but then I don't. I guess it's a good thing. I don't really have a period these days. I just it's nothing.
Nothing.
So, no.
All right, just a little.
But I don't.
Just a little. Hey, not preggy. Okay, bye.
I don't have the cramps or anything either. I just have all the bullshit that comes right
Really?
before it.
Oh, I hate you. I
I
always
got
have
nothing.
cramps. Always.
Nothing. I haven't felt cramps in years.
Oh, cramps fucking.
Oh yeah, they do. Well, I remember them very
I get them
clearly.
horribly. By the way, for anybody listening to this and wondering if there's going to be a lot of cussing, there is, because I cuss like a trucker.
Mother trucker.
There
There won't be this much hormone talk either.
Right. This is it. The one hormone talk we're having.
Just gonna throw it all out there right now and be done with it.
Fuck! I'm so glad I'm a guy. Sometimes
You should be.
just so
You
happy.
get to pee standing up too.
Yeah. You
That
guys
is
can
pretty
pee
great.
anywhere.
Yeah.
You can pee anywhere.
Yeah.
You could be driving down
Yeah,
the
we
road.
need a
and be like, I have to pee.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pee
It's not
while
quite
you're driving.
Exactly. That I've actually been in that situation.
Really? That's not fair.
well, obviously it wasn't me. It was years ago. I was like probably 20, 21 years old. And me and my best friend at the time were driving to Vegas, and we were just stuck out in the middle of the desert driving. And he's like, I have to pee. And I was like, all right, well, I don't know. I mean, I'll just pull over right here. He's like, no, I'll just jump in the back seat. We had a cup.
What?
Yeah, and he just peed in the cup.
Oh.
In a cup? You have to do it in something with a lid, because otherwise it's
Well, there was a lid. Well,
okay,
it was a cup. We had gotten food somewhere, and so there was an empty cup. And
gross.
so he just used
I
that.
just imagine like a red Solo cup.
God. Oh, God, no. No. There was a lid involved.
We were driving back from Arizona last week,
threw it
and there was a horrible accident that like people backed up for miles and miles and miles and miles. I think it was a fire. So we turned around and like backtracked on the median. Everybody was doing it. And then went and got off on a side road. And of course my dog had to pee. I can tell because he's like, so I'm like, okay, pull over, the dog can pee. He got out and there were bottles of what was obviously pee on the side. And we were like, oh, guys have been here.
All right, then. Yeah.
It was gross. But even dogs, see, they're like, oh, I just peed, then I'm done.
Yep. You'll have it made.
We cannot do that.
They make that for girls now.
I'm not buying one. I don't know.
That little, what is it called?
Maybe if I were like a person who had to be out in like the field, like if I was like a paleontologist or something, that might come in handy, but I'm good.
They do make that thing. It's like a little, I don't know. It's got like it's like a funnel almost.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, but is it hard for girls? Because you do jiu-jitsu no gi.
Yeah.
With the gi, it's just pants and a shirt.
Yeah.
And a jacket. But with the no gi, it's like the Lycra, like Under Armour stuff. And when you get sweaty, sometimes it's hard to take off.
Yeah.
Like, what if you have to go to the
Tell
bathroom?
them what happened in the locker room the other day.
What happened?
I got stuck in my sports bra.
I walk into the locker room and she's halfway through pulling up her sports bra, and I just walk in and
I'm
see
stuck,
and she's stuck like this with her sports bra and her boobs just out, and I was like, oh,
because I'm all sweaty and I already have like a wide like lat area, it's just and wide shoulders, and I'm like, help, I'm stuck.
The struggle to take a sports bra off after training is real.
It's the real
that shit. It's not that easy.
I'm not the first one that's ever been stuck in their sports bra, by the way.
Not the first time any of us have ever needed assistance taking it off afterwards. It's a real thing. It's a real struggle.
My husband has to help me out of my sports bra all the time. I'm always like, come, help, I'm stuck.
Another thing you guys don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
I would never even thought, like, that was the first time I thought about it.
No, it's real.
So what happens, like, if you have to go back to class? Like, do you bring
put a new
change?
one on.
Yeah.
You don't put one on after it's wet and sweaty.
No. You need to change between classes.
Yeah.
Faux show.
Well, what if you have to go pee during class, though?
Sports bras are nowhere near your vagina.
Well, no, obviously, but like
the leggings is an issue. I'm talking about
like leggings and like the top too.
I think it depends. I feel like it maybe depends on like the brand and like the material, because I feel like some of them are harder than others to put back on. But I
usually try and pee before class.
I was gonna say I really try and make it a point not to have to pee during class. The other day I kind of had to a little bit, and I was like, no, it's not
very
enough.
rarely.
It's not enough to go go deal with that.
You just
I was like, I'll wait.
it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So.
You wouldn't be worried that you get into a position that would just
I didn't have to pee that bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go before class.
Yeah.
You know somebody's going to be pushing on all parts of your body.
Yeah.
Just go before class.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pee that bad, then I'd be like, well, yeah, knee on belly probably would be an issue. So maybe I'm going to go pee.
Yeah.
Someone's have to have peed themselves before in a class.
I'm sure it's
or like shit themselves or something.
I'm sure a shart has happened somewhere.
Oh,
not with not that I'm aware of with anybody at our school, but
I know farts have happened.
Oh yeah.
Well, farts are just funny. Like farts don't really hurt anybody. I guess if you're like,
I don't know if you do we want to
fartoplata?
Do we want to ask Travis New Watts of that?
What's a fartoplata?
Okay, Travis, I'm so sorry. So one of our friends, he put it on the internet. I'm not. If I was putting him on blast, I would not tell this story. But he put it out on the internet. So our friend Travis was doing a tournament, and he had a guy. He was going for a triangle, and he farted, and the guy tapped, and he got all upset. And he yelled at the ref, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
He tapped from a fart.
Oh,
that guy's weak. Unless the fart was just so bad. How do you tap to a fart? You just close your nose, I guess. That's crazy. That's hysterical. Tap to a fart.
Yeah. So it's come to be known as the fartoplata.
Yep. I believe if you search that, you'll find the video.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So what do you guys have coming up this week in jiu-jitsu? Like, what are you guys excited about in jiu-jitsu?
I've been thinking a lot about sweeps the last couple of days.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like that's where my mind is. Right. Like I feel like every week or two, I'm kind of, my mind is in a place where I'm like, I need to work on this. I need to work on that. So like a few weeks ago, the last couple weeks has been guard passing.
Yeah.
And I worked on that a little bit. Obviously, I still need to keep working on that. But the last couple days, I've been thinking about sweeps. So I think that's where I'm going to be this week as far as,
I'm always thinking, honestly, about everything. I'm like, gotta work on my sweeps, gotta work on my guard passing, gotta work on my finishes.
Well, everything needs to be worked on, but you can only focus on one at a time. So it's like,
I don't know what I'm going to, I guess when I get on the mat and somebody does something, I'm like, oh, gotta work on that.
Yep.
I don't usually go in with a plan, at least for the week, like, oh, this is what I'm working on. Usually something happens and I'm like, all right, gotta work on that.
Yeah.
So you guys, because it's in a weird place between like people just going to the gym and working out,
right,
and it turning into like a sport and then people becoming athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that you're trying to get better at it. Like when I used to go to the gym, I was just going to the gym to work out. Like I wasn't trying to get better at the elliptical,
right,
or anything like that. But now you're actively trying to improve at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's not just working out.
Usually, for me, it's like a long-term goal.
Right.
And I guess for everybody it is. So whatever I need to do to reach my goal, which now my goal is at some point to be a brown belt. So I have to be efficient at everything in order to reach that point. So that's always in the back of your mind. Like I need to be, anytime I get tapped out, no matter what it is, I want to improve whatever just happened.
Right.
I consider every single time I get tapped out my fault. And that's not to take anything away from anybody that I roll with. Their skill is awesome. They're usually, awesome people and they did what they needed to do. But for me, I feel like every time that I get tapped out, I didn't defend right, I didn't do something, it's my fault that I need to improve on that situation.
I liked having one of those. I had one of those moments a few weeks ago where I've actually had it a couple times in the last few weeks where I know exactly what I did wrong, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though the other
person, you know what you need to work on.
Yeah, even though the other person totally capitalized on it and probably and finished me in some way, I knew exactly where I fucked up, which is nice because that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just like, fuck, I got caught. I don't even know how I got here.
Yeah.
But these were like, oh yeah, I moved my arm up and
I don't know if this sounds weird, but I like getting tapped out by higher belts who do something that I haven't experienced before.
Why? Like, it's a learning experience?
Yes, it's a learning experience. Like, so last week I was rolling with a brown belt, and he went to armbar me. He went to triangle me. I escaped the triangle, and I thought I was about to escape the armbar, and then he flipped it and just did something that I hadn't experienced before. I'm sure it's not anything new, but it was something that I hadn't experienced before, and I was like, oh. First of all, that was awesome. Can you please teach me how to do that? Secondly, now I know I need to watch out for that because before, obviously, I was just leaving my hand out there, and now I know it's in danger there. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, your game is always evolving.
Yeah.
Going back to your question, I've actually had people asking me recently, like, what is it that you do train for? And I'm like, for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I train in jiu-jitsu. Well, what are you training for? Are you going to compete? And yeah, I do actually intend to compete very soon, actually. But I train because I want to get better.
Yeah.
Because I love the sport. That's why I do it. I don't really have like a real end plan for it. Like I don't really have like
like this is the goal that
giant
I reached.
Goal in the end. Like I want to get better. Yeah, I want to get that next belt. You know, just like anyone else.
Yeah, but that's not a reason. It's just a thing.
That's part of that's part of the process or the part of the journey. I'm just doing it because it's what I enjoy. It's my therapy. It is absolutely my therapy
for sure. Yeah. You're there for the sake of being there and experiencing the sport and getting better and having it. I think it makes me a better person. Honestly, I think jiu-jitsu makes me a better person. I've seen how it affects other people and when they start and how they deal with the world changes once you experience this. It's a microcosm of how you deal with the world.
It keeps us sane.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you guys have changed since you started jiu-jitsu?
Confidence.
Yeah. Confidence, nothing's as big. You're able to just deal with things. It's not a big deal. Here's my for years I've had a theory that everybody should be a part of some kind of combat sport, especially men, because we live in this, well-mannered society for the most part, where we all are expected to act a certain way, and really you're not allowed to ever rage out or let your animal instincts take over, because that's not how you behave. There's gonna be way too many consequences. If you rage out, you're gonna get arrested or go to jail. You have to act like a civilized person. So here is the perfect controlled environment for you to let all of that out. So I feel like people who train in combat sports are actually more calm in the real world, and they are dudes who do this are not so quick to with their temper, because they have this outlet for this place. And same thing with women. We have this outlet where we get to be badass bitches and rage out, and then so when somebody maybe pisses you off, or before you would be "Rawr," you're like, yeah, whatever, fuck you.
I mean, there's a reason that they say I do jiu-jitsu, because it's frowned upon to choke people out on the street.
Mm-hmm. And the reason the phrase jiu-jitsu saved my life existed for a reason too. There's a lot of people that didn't have something to love. Everybody needs something to love that is, not a partner, not a job. It's something that just exists for nothing but their pure enjoyment and love.
They need a hobby to love.
For a lot of us, this is what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some people, knitting saved their life.
For sure. Yeah. Cooking, whatever. Everybody needs something to love. I firmly believe that.
I agree.
That, is just for them and only exists to bring them pleasure.
I actually believe that with kids too.
Yeah.
I feel like all kids should be in some form of sport, in some sort of a sport. I'm not even, at this point, it's not even necessarily a martial art or jiu-jitsu specific.
Right.
I think that it's good for kids to be in sports. At least that's just my own personal, how I grew up, and I think that's what kept me from doing anything.
Well, I think it also teaches. I was talking to my sister-in-law about this. And I know a lot of comedians joke about this, and I'm 100% on their side about it, is we have this whole generation of people that got participation medals.
Oh, God.
And they, coaches aren't allowed to discipline kids or yell at them in a certain way. And everybody has to be handled with kid gloves. And I think that's a really scary thing. If you don't ever experience defeat or not getting your way, or knowing that the world is not going to handle you with kid gloves, it does something to the way that you behave.
It's called entitlement.
Oh, there's that. Thank you. Yeah.
All these kids are going to grow up feeling entitled.
Yeah. Yeah. I think getting your ass kicked is something that everybody needs. Yes. Everybody needs an ass kicking once in a while. And it humbles you, and it makes you think twice before you do anything. And it's just good for your soul.
There's nothing wrong with people feeling defeat.
Yeah.
It sucks, yes.
But it's a necessary thing to evolve into a good person.
It's how we grow as people.
And, you're going to have bosses that aren't
just go your way all the time. Yeah. You can't be the winner all the time.
For sure. See, that's real outrage. That's something to be outraged about.
See? Exactly.
Real, not faux.
Exactly.
F-A-U-X.
Faux. It sucks Ronda lost, but it's in the end, I'm sure it's good for her.
Same thing with McGregor.
Same thing with him.
I think that he's going to come back a better fighter, because he's experienced this, he took that loss like a man.
Love him or hate him, yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of his, but I do respect the way that he took that loss like a man. I respect any fighter who takes the loss like a man or a woman, shakes their opponent's hand, congratulates them on being the better fighter that night, and goes and learns from the process.
That's how they should all be taken.
Of course, it's a sport. At the end of the day, I know it's a business, but it's a sport. Do we really hate somebody so much that you want to see them get permanent damage to their body and brain? No, it's a sport for our entertainment.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really want that for anybody who hasn't caused horrible damage to you or your family.
People out there fucking crazy.
Yeah, motherfuckers be crazy. Yeah. They need jiu-jitsu in their life.
Yeah, exactly. The people that are saying that don't do the sport.
Bitches be tripping.
Or don't do any sort of sport.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So,
well, perfect.
Anyway.
So, what do you guys want to tell how they can find you, or what do you plan? are we Monday next week, or is next week the week we have to do Tuesday?
No, next week is Monday still.
Okay, perfect.
So next Monday, every Monday, Matt Therapy, right here on the YouTubes. And you can find me at donnagonzales.com, DAWNAGONZALES, and all of my social media links are there. Right now, it's just also my voiceover demo, so not super useful to anybody else but me, but that's where you can find them.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and my handle is at Bex and Violence, BEX and Violence, all one word. You can spell. And then Becky Dominguez on Facebook, if you can find me.
Nice. Lee?
I think eventually it'll also have at Bex and Violence, probably. You can get to me through there.
Right, and I'm Lee Syatt, and everything's at leesyatt.com. LEESYATT.
Awesome.
Awesome.
See y'all next week.
Thanks,
Peace out, bitches.
Peace out, everyone.